In today's video, we're going to go through the setup of your Olympus Air camera. Hi, I'm Bill Booz, and this is the Photography Learning Center. This is the second in a series of videos I'm doing on the Olympus Air camera. Today we're going to take a look at how to set up your new Air when you first get it. First, I'll show you how to charge the Air. In order to do this, you have to remove its rear coupling. The coupling is, remember, what is used to hold a smartphone and disconnects from the Air just as a lens does. Next, I'll show you how to remove the back plate, which is below the coupling, so that we can insert a micro SD memory card. Remember, you must purchase a micro SD card, as one doesn't come with the camera. And finally, while you have this back plate off, we need to turn on the radio switch to on to turn on the Air's Bluetooth radio signal. We'll then put all these things back together, and you'll be ready to connect your Air to your mobile smartphone and or tablet. So let's get started. Okay, we're going to take a look at the Air, get it all set up. And for this, I'm actually going to take off this lens that I have on here, because when you get it, you won't normally have a lens on it right away. And you can see that there's usually a body cap here, and there's the actual 4/3 sensor that you can see right through the barrel. And the Air consists of that body cap, the Air body, the coupling. Below the coupler is a back plate. So first thing to do, because we want to charge the Air, is we want to take this coupling off. And if you'll notice on the side of the coupling, there's a little dot lined up with a line that's on the barrel of the Air itself. And there's a little switch right here, a chrome switch, just like a lens release. And in fact, it's on the other side is the switch that is a lens release for whatever lens you have attached. So we're going to turn this coupler until this line on the coupler is lined up with a line on the barrel. And first we have to pull this piece back and then turn it counterclockwise until they're lined up, and then the coupler comes right off. And when you do that, this exposes the on-off switch for Wi-Fi. So if you were storing your Air for a while, traveling with it, you want to make sure that the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth signals are off, then you would switch this switch back to off. Over here is the micro USB port for charging your Air, and the Air otherwise is just a piece of the coupler rather is really just a protection and a way to hold your smartphone. And so this is one of the reasons that I like to have this secondary band on here. So if I take the coupler off so that I can charge the Air, it will always stay with the Air if I have this around, and I would normally have a lens on it, around the body or around the lens, and then it's a unit, so to speak. But for our purposes today, I'm going to take this off. Okay, so we've got the Air. The charging port for the Air exposed. So here's the micro USB. It's a typical traditional USB connection on one end and the micro USB on the other. Micro USB end fits into the slot on the back of your Air, just like that. And then in order to charge it, put it into any USB socket. I'm using an old iPhone socket that I had, and then plug that into the wall, and you're good to go. And the second thing we have to do is put a memory card in the micro SD card slot. And if you removing the back plate is the one thing that gave me a lot of trouble, and apparently a lot of other people. And fortunately for friends on Facebook and the Olympus Air group, I got some assistance, so I'd like to give you some. So on one side of if you go around the outside, the perimeter of the back plate, you'll see one place, so it's by the tripod mount, but it's a little indentation. You put your fingernail in there, or a little quarter of a credit card or something, and you pull this out. Now the thing that worried me, it wouldn't come loose. The thing that worried me was forcing that and breaking this plastic. But to make yourself feel a little bit better, if you use a credit card, for example, or even your fingernail, if you're fortunate enough to have fingernails, and open this up a little bit and maybe hold it out with one finger, and then move your finger or card or something around the edge to loosen it up a little bit. The first time it will be a little bit tight. Okay, Bill, this is a good demonstration. This is not always easy. Oh, there you go. See, this snaps right off. So it won't, well, I mean, I guess it could break, but I don't think it'll break if you are careful as you're pulling it off. With the backplate off, you can also see naturally the micro USB port, and you can see the on-off switch. Okay, so here's the micro USB port. Actually, you can see that as we've taken that cover off. Right next to that is a little square or rectangular area, and inside there, in the far closest to the barrel, the outside of the barrel, there is a slot where you put your SD card. So with the pins down, you put this in this slot, push it down with your fingernail or a small knife or something, force it into the hole, put this back on, and it does go only one way because you want to be able to see the on-off switch or access the on-off switch, and you want to access the SD card, the USB port. So then when we're finished charging, put this back on, the coupling back on, and turn it until it snaps. And put the lens back on, and there you have it. Now the first thing you want to do once you get your Air is go to the App Store, the Apple App Store if you're iOS, or the Play Store if you're Android. Download the OA Central app. I've installed mine. It's on my home screen, so I'm going to tap on the icon for it, and we come up with the screen, which is mode dial, view images, camera settings, and you get access to Amazon Cloud Drive if you have an Amazon account. In the upper right hand corner is a little gear, which is kind of universal for settings. So you click on the gear icon for settings. This takes you to a screen that gives you two choices: start, initial setup, and guide. You'll notice you didn't get a manual with your Air. It'll take you to a page in your browser, which is a guide to the parts of the Air. It's a guide to how to use it. It's very brief. It's not terribly extensive, and that's another reason I'm doing these videos. But you can go there and then save that. It's a PDF, so you can save that PDF to your smartphone or your tablet, and then you have it for reference if you need it. So where people have been saying there's no manual for this thing, there really is. It's just very brief. But what we want to do here is start initial setup. So I'm going to click on that, and that immediately takes you to a series of screens that have you do much like I did in the other video, where you're detaching the Air coupling, not a coupler, a coupling, and then remove the rear cover. I call it a back cover. And it shows you how to do that. And then insert the SD card. We talked about that. And set the Bluetooth connection. What that means is that switch, that on-off switch, is really just for Bluetooth, not for Wi-Fi. Okay, we're on the set Bluetooth connection page. I've got my Air on, turned on. The blue light indicates that it's sending out a Bluetooth signal. I'm going to click on search. It's looking for for an enabled device. Found one, confirming. And now it's presenting me with a screen to give the Air a name and a passcode. So I'm going to call mine Bill's Air. It can be alphanumeric, but no spaces. Then the passcode is to be a 6-digit numeric, 6-digit code. And I'm going to use the first 6-digit of the code that is printed on the back of the camera below the back cap. And that is, let's see what I have it here. So I'm going to type in 2, 3, 7, 5, 2, 3. This way you won't forget it. I'd forgotten what I'd done before, so you know that it's the first 6 digits of the code, of the Wi-Fi code. So I click on Go. Bluetooth connection settings are complete. It reminds me what they are, and I should note those, the name I gave it and the passcode. All right, so I click on the arrow to go to the next page. Set Wi-Fi connection. Use the following steps for Wi-Fi connection. So remove the rear cover of the Olympus Air. So what we're going to do is take the coupling off, as we did before. We pull this lens release back, turn the coupling so the lines line up. Take the coupling off, remove the back plate. Once you take off the back plate, there is a little panel here with a QR scan area. We're going to scan that to get the password for attaching to the Air from our smartphone once we made a connection between the two with our Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. You only have to do that once. We are going to click the scan button on the iPhone, and it sets up a little screen. I have to get my camera to find that there we go, it found it. Install profile. So I click on install. I go to Wi-Fi. There's the Air showing up. I click on it, and it's making connection because it already knows the code because of that scan. So now I am totally connected to my Air. I've got a lens on here, so I'm going to hold it with the shutter button on top, and I'm going to go into the OA Central app right here, and it's telling me the Wi-Fi connection settings are complete. So I click on the arrow, attach the rear cover. We've done that. So the initial setup sequence is very complete. Attach the Air coupling. We've done that, and we are done. And now we have the screen, the main menu of the OA Air app. I'm going to click on Mode Dial. And now I'm looking right through the camera, and I can take a picture. So if I hit the shutter button on here, it takes a picture, it's processing it, and it's showing me the picture. If I want to review my pictures, I go down here, in the lower right-hand corner, click on this icon, and now it's retrieving the pictures from the camera and showing them on my iPhone. So I can scroll through those pictures. Now you have all the mechanical stuff for setting up your Air out of the way. In my next video, I'll review in depth how you connect your smartphone or mobile tablet to your Air so you can start taking pictures. I hope these videos are helpful to you. And thanks again for stopping by. I'll see you again soon.